You ever promise to catch more fish than you actually have in your flippers? Welcome to iceberg theory. See, our colony spends fish like crazy, building igloos, feeding chicks, throwing fancy iceberg parties. But a lot of that fish, it's borrowed. And eventually someone says, "Hey, stop. You've hit the fish ceiling." Sounds fake, right? It's not. The debt ceiling is real, it's weird, and if penguins had a Congress, they'd argue about it every few months. Let me explain. With fish, because obviously. All right, let's swim into it. Imagine our penguin government collects fish to fund everything. Fish are money, okay? We use them for healthcare, snowplows, fish-flavored popsicles, the essentials. Now, some of that fish comes from taxes. That's the fish we earn from working hard and flapping around in suits. But most of it, we borrow from other colonies, other penguins, sometimes polar bears, anyone willing to loan us fish. Now here's where it gets fishy. We've borrowed so many fish over the years that someone finally said, let's set a limit. A fish ceiling, no borrowing beyond this. And boom, the debt ceiling was born. But here's the kicker, the ceiling doesn't control how much we spend. That decision already happened. Congress, our very serious, mostly flightless legislative penguins, already approved the spending. The debt ceiling is just a formality that says, you're allowed to borrow up to this many fish to pay for the stuff you already bought. It's like going out to dinner, ordering everything on the menu, and then turning to your wallet and saying, wait, do I allow myself to use my credit card? So when we hit the debt ceiling, we're not suddenly deciding whether to spend more. We're deciding whether we'll pay the bill we already owe. It's budgeting backward. It's like agreeing to host a wedding, planning the whole thing, and only then asking, should we actually pay the caterer? So yeah, it's weird. But welcome to government finance, with fish. So why do we even have a debt ceiling? Who built this icy financial speed bump? Well, back in the day, I'm talking early 20th century penguins, governments had to ask for permission every single time they borrowed fish. Excuse me, may I borrow exactly 73 fish for some penguin submarines? Over and over again, exhausting, bureaucratic, very unchill. So in 1917, during World War I, when the fish spending frenzy hit new highs, Penguin Congress decided, okay, fine, we'll let you borrow fish, but we're gonna set a limit. One giant fish bucket. Borrow what you need, just don't spill over. That's the origin of the debt ceiling. It was meant to simplify things. Instead of approving each fish loan individually, they created a cap. Like, borrow whatever, just don't cross this big icy line. It was supposed to be practical, like saying, sure, take the fish credit card, but your limit's 20,000 sardines. But over the decades, spending grew. Wars, infrastructure, space penguins, all expensive. And every time the ceiling came close, Congress had to vote to raise it, over 100 times. It's like raising the ceiling on your igloo because you keep stacking more snow on the inside. It became political theater. The ceiling isn't really about budgeting anymore, it's about posturing, penguins arguing over something they already agreed to. So yeah, it exists to keep borrowing under control. But in practice, it's like a diet that starts after you've eaten all the cake. And then you argue whether to admit the calories even count. Okay, so what happens when we hit the debt ceiling? Short answer, chaos. But like penguin chaos. Imagine flippers waving in the air, fish bills flying, chicks crying, ice melting from stress. Hitting the debt ceiling means the government can't legally borrow more fish, not a single sardine, which is a problem because we're still spending. The rent is due, the babysitter wants her fish, the igloo repair guy is knocking. And the fish jar? Empty. Now the government does still get some fish from taxes, penguin workers doing their thing, paying their share, but it's not enough, not nearly. We borrow to make up the difference, so without borrowing, we can't pay everyone. This is called a default, and it's not just a whoops, it's more like a full-body ice plunge. Credit rating tanks, interest rates spike, investors get nervous, other fish lenders go, wait, are they not paying us back? Inside the colony, some penguins stop getting paid. No fish for retirement programs, no funding for schools or roads, even the Penguin Coast Guard. They're told to bring their own snacks. It's not hypothetical. In 2011, we got close, like dangerously close. Just the threat of hitting the ceiling made markets nosedive. Our credit rating actually got downgraded because apparently even penguins can be irresponsible. And the worst part, it's entirely preventable. Congress just has to say, okay, raise the ceiling, that's it. But instead, they argue, make threats, hold the fish hostage. So, when we hit the ceiling, the world watches, the fish sweat, and penguins panic. You'd think the debt ceiling would be simple. We already spent the fish. Just raise the limit and move on, right? Nope. Welcome to penguin politics. See, the debt ceiling isn't just a number, it's a bargaining chip, a shiny, slippery fish that political penguins use to get what they want. Sure, I'll vote to raise the ceiling, but only if you cancel the snowball tax and fund my luxury ice spa. It becomes a game of flipper pointing. One side says, you're reckless, you spend too much fish. The other side says, you're holding the economy hostage. And meanwhile, the ceiling looms like a big block of frozen doom. This drama ramps up every time we get close. There are emergency meetings, press conferences, penguins yelling on TV. The fish markets get nervous, ice stocks wobble. Everyone waits to see, will they do it in time? Or let it all slide into the sea? And here's the wild part. Both sides agree the bills need to be paid. Nobody wants to default. But they still use the moment for leverage because there's nothing like a ticking fish bomb to make the other side blink. It's like arguing over whether to refill the fish tank while the entire colony is swimming in it. The debt ceiling drama isn't about whether we can pay. It's about whether politicians want to play chicken with the full faith and credit of the penguin nation. Spoiler, they often do. Because in politics, sometimes yelling fiscal responsibility gets more applause than actually being fiscally responsible. Even if the chicks go hungry. Let's be honest, the ceiling gets all the attention, but it's not the real problem. The problem? We keep ordering more fish than we catch. Imagine a penguin who maxes out their fish card every month, then blames the ceiling for being too low. Buddy, it's not the ceiling, it's your fish addiction. Year after year, our colony spends more than it brings in. That's not always a bad thing. Sometimes borrowing helps us survive cold winters or fund big igloo projects. But eventually, the fish pile gets high. Like, hope you like interest payments high. We argue about the ceiling because it's dramatic, but we ignore the iceberg we're standing on. The endless habit of spending more and pretending it's fine because we'll just raise the ceiling again. If we really wanted to fix this, we'd look at why we're borrowing so much in the first place. Maybe cut wasteful spending. Maybe collect taxes a little more evenly. Maybe stop promising luxury fish fountains we can't afford. Instead, we act shocked every time the ceiling comes back, like it's a surprise guest. Oh no, the debt ceiling again? How could this happen? It's like going to an all-you-can-eat fish buffet every day, then gasping at your fish bill like it magically appeared. Raising the ceiling keeps the lights on. But without smarter spending, we're just building a taller igloo on melting ice. So yeah, the debt ceiling's a mess, but the real mess? We're too busy arguing over the roof to notice the whole foundation's wobbly. Fish borrowed is still fish owed, even if you look cute doing it in a tuxedo. So now you know, the debt ceiling isn't some fancy new fish trap. It's just the awkward, recurring moment when our colony realizes we borrowed a lot of fish and forgot to plan for it. It's weird, it's dramatic, and it's avoidable. But until we fix the root problem, overspending without thinking, we'll keep raising the roof like it's a dance party nobody asked for. If this made sense, or fish, slide that flipper over to like and subscribe. Until next time, fish responsibly. Your future penguin self will thank you.